Uh, Good morning, good afternoon. There's a difference between time. I'm now in South Africa, and you are in the United States. And I congratulate you for organizing this important conference on contemporization of development economics research on innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainability. To be held at the Swiss Hotel, Chicago. I sincerely apologize that I was not able to join you. I particularly would like to apologize to my dearest brother, Professor Lakwendra Singh, that I was not able to make it. It was a mistake done when they prepared my ticket, that they did not do it right. So that was a big problem, that I couldn't really fix it properly. So that's why I was not able to join you. But I hope you're able to see this message that I sent, and that you will include it in your program. I promise that I will definitely produce a paper on innovation, sustainable development, because I have some new ideas about how we can deal with this carbon-heavy diet industrialization that the Western world went through, cannot be repeated with those of us who still need to industrialize. Now, how we can do it is we need to rethink, relearn the entire way by which we have been developing innovation and development itself. So I'm now thinking about it, and I hope you can share these thoughts. Let me start now. Innovation. What's innovation? What's development? The way we have understood innovation and development is mainly both technically and commercially and economically. The way we think the validation and the success of innovative activity is if it gives us commercial gain and technical gain. How new it is, yes, how useful it is measured not by the social and environmental gains that we are necessary also, but only on the benefit they produce for commerce and economics, and some of the technical achievements that are produced in themselves are the ones that measure the quality of what is being innovated and developed. Now, I think we need to unthink, to rethink, unlearn, to relearn this entire concept of innovation by adding the validation criteria on both the usefulness and the newness, that there are explicit, tangible, measurable social gains and environmental gains. We should say, is the innovative activity generating carbon-heavy diet or carbon light or carbon absent diet? We should say that. In terms of social gain, who gains? Is it just a few rich people that control it, or is this a gain that is also widely shared by all the communities, that it could enable the additive well-being of all the people that matter to us? This is a very important issue. This is critical. So the entire concept of innovation has to change. The same thing with development. Development came about 70 years ago, development theory, and it's economic development. That was the main thinking. And it came after many of the countries have been colonized. Many of the Western countries developed an international development department, where some of their own academic thinkers and the policymakers start developing this concept of the development economics. Again, it's very narrow. and it doesn't include widely about how the transformation of the people that really need to be developed are taken is not seriously considered. So the entire development concept is also both narrow economistic and commercial also. So it has the same features that the innovation side had in terms of the validation criteria. So again, now it's nearly 70 years of development theory, and it's really more or less now dying. Innovation theory has also gone over the last 40 years. What we need now is to do a new marriage between innovation and development. And if we do it, how do we do it? Is the most interesting question. Now we need to think of innovation system. We need to think of a development system. And these two, development and innovation systems, have to be combined. And if we do that, now we are in the period of the sustainable development, green economy, smart economy, fourth industrial revolution. We are in this era now, knowledge economy, digital economy, exponential economy, and technology that's growing now with some disruptiveness. Now we are in a very interesting time where there's so much going on. And what we need to do now is address systematically all these changes so that we have a transformative, networked, unified system. That is the kind of thing we need to think about now. How do we create change, innovation and development? Innovation with sustainability, and development again with sustainability. How do we join them together? And which means the commercial side should not dominate. What would dominate? The social, the environmental, the knowledge side are combined with the economic side. So a new synthesis, a new hybrid imagination is extremely necessary to be able to produce a new approach or a new system, a kind of what I call a networked, unified, transformative innovation and sustainable development system needs to be generated in order to create a situation where the carbon heavy diet of industrial development is changed to a carbon light and no carbon industrialization path can come, so that a new development strategy that will save the planet, the universe, is upon us, and that we move away from this current crazy direction to a new, very more progressive, more thoughtful direction. And that is the kind of direction that I recommend very strongly, and that we really need to work on this very systematically, create these new theories to do it. One thing I must say is that those that have developed at the expense of nature, they did the industrial development, have to also be ready to acknowledge the big mistake they did in terms of damaging the environment of our planet. If they do not do it, then those that are now trying to develop from many parts of the global south will try to, if they developed as they developed, then we'll not have the planet. The earth will go. So we need to think very clearly, what must they do in terms of showing that they have made the mistake. If they show genuinely, they acknowledge that they have made this carbon heavy diet industrial development, and if they want the current global south who would like to do industrialization to develop without carbon heavy diet, then they too must acknowledge and recognize the kind of mistake that went through their industrialization, so that they can actually support this new direction of carbon light and no carbon industrial development path. So again, this requires innovation on the policy side. You see, it's not just innovation on the development side, it's also innovation on the policymaker side. The policymakers also have to change. They can make a difference. If they don't change, it's going to be a problem. So there are two types of changes that we need. Change one, those that have developed with carbon-heavy diet, and change two, those that are trying to develop with with a current carbon-heavy diet need to change. Both of them, if they don't change, if the politicians and those policymakers do not change, then we still will have a problem for this world. So again, we need to kind of set up a whole set of institutions and arrangements, governance, leadership, qualities, that we need leadership that love humanity, not leadership that love development based on achieving cash and commerce. This kind of new approach, new economics, uneconomizing economics, unpoliticizing current politics, uninnovationizing current innovation, undevelopmentizing current development. These approaches are critically important to really make a big difference for changing this world. Otherwise, we'll have a big problem where the universe will go in the wrong direction. So we do need a new change. The change has to be where the additive well-being of the people, of nature, are the priority for driving, for validating any innovative and development activity that we are engaged in, and any industrialization would like to nourish and develop, and any approach that we take in terms of the policy and all other approaches that we need to make a huge difference for our world. I really appreciate you for making this important conference, and I definitely would have been very happy to join you. I really wanted to join you. I mentioned this very much to our brother, Professor Lakwanda Singh, when I met him in Seoul in Korea for the International Schumpeter Conference, and I was genuinely going to come, and but just because of all these technical difficulties, I was not able to make it. Sincere apologies, but I wish you the great success, and I think what you are doing is excellent, and I congratulate you for what you have done, and thank you very much, and wish you all the best. Thank you.